right, 255 Mimikyu promos sold from the Paldean Fates ETB. So, for those of you who don't know, well, if you watch the channel enough, you probably do know. But from this Paldean Fates ETB over here, and I've been seeing more promo buyouts. I saw the Snorlax promo sold like 200 yesterday from the 151 ETB. And yeah, on October 1st, see 255 sold, actually a little more sold than that. Even yesterday, you see a spike of 86 sold, so almost 100 sold. And yeah, the price spiked from like $8.50 all the way to $14. There's a lot of data on that. So I just put it over here because it takes a while to scroll. I'm seeing the price that they bought at. So this is like the very end. They bought it for like $15, $19. You see 13 sold there. They paid really high prices, $20, $15. 29 sold here for $17. So yeah, like these weren't like, this wasn't a cheap buyout. 40 sold over there, 15. Only at the beginning do you see like the lower prices. But yeah, they paid the really high prices for these. Before that, I was selling for less than that. So I don't know what's going on with that. That seems like a little too much. And the price is already kind of back down, you see. But yeah. And then I've seen, so like I'm gonna explore this pattern a little more. I'm seeing this pattern for a lot of promos where like they kind of went up recently. And then they kind of dipped back down, and then some of them are making a recovery, but this is happening in a lot of promos, so I want to explore that more over some time. But I do think that ETB promos are coming back as a play. It just seems kind of obvious because PCTBs are so expensive and people are just gonna buy for art, and for a lot of these ETB promos, it's kind of hard to get the ETBs nowadays. So these will be worth quite a bit more. The Mimikyu one is not as popular, you know, it's only a $15 card. But for things like I mean, like, I guess it's the same price as the EV, but for other things, like, people in the future are going to want these. And it's not too hard, just buy a ton of them and wait for, like, the lower quality ones to rise, and then just grade the higher quality ones, try to get PSA 10s out of them. Alright, Fusion Strike. So out of all the booster boxes that I cover, at least in this video, with the Sword Shield boxes and the box up to Surging Sparks, I feel like this one with the strongest, I don't know, momentum or, like, recovery force, something like that, is Fusion Strike. I mentioned this yesterday, how like prices did drop for Fusion Strike like every other box, and like the high was around like 1050 or something, and that was only like yeah, that was for like a brief period of time. Then it goes back to 1,900, and then you see like the 918, 905, it goes back 983. So it's not that far from like where it was before. Like, of course, there's a little bit of recovery, but when I looked at the sales, what I saw is that there weren't actually a lot of sales at the lower price point. Over here, I guess you see a few more around 900. So maybe it's starting to recover back. But other than that, like a lot of the prices have been around 900 points. And like kind of every time there's a sale for Fusion Strike, the price kind of goes back up. Like if you look at it right now, like it's only like $50 down, 50 or so dollars down from like its previous high, which only maintained for a little bit, which really isn't that bad, especially for such a high dollar booster box. Like $50 is what, like 5%. It's really not that bad. See like the spikes, you'll see like there'll be days where no one buys, but then like you saw like 10 sold these 2 days, then you see like 5 sold these 2 days, so there will be random spikes. There's 4 sold this day. So like demand wise, I guess you do see like this is like when more boxes were sold, then slows down a little bit, and the demand's actually a little higher recently. There's a little break here, but demand's a little higher recently, and like that's a little normal for boxes that are kind of slowing down. For Brilliant Stars also seeing a lot of attention. The price isn't holding as strongly maybe, but yeah, you see it's selling like quite a bit. It's selling like pretty much every day. It's selling like 1 to 2 per day, like a lot of days with 2 or 4. So it's also doing pretty well. It's holding up at like 490. For Chilling Rain took a break, but was also seeing some more recent sales. Say 2 here and then 1 more recently. Evolving Skies still hasn't had any sales since October 11th. We're waiting for that. The number of boxes around 2,500 is increasing though. There's about like 5 boxes roughly around 2,500. So I wouldn't be surprised if it drops like a little bit. I know like Nostalgianomics, like I watched his video yesterday, he made an argument like Team Up and Cosmic Eclipse are like 2 years older, and they're like I think like $5,000 boxes at minimum. So like Evolving Skies like in like 2 years is like definitely gonna like double. If not sooner. Astral Rain still hasn't had any sales recently. Just gotta make sure this isn't broken. There's been not that much, like it doesn't really make sense. Like really these other sets, like even Brilliant Stars, like whatever, they're better sets and you can get them for around the same price. Lost Origin has 0 says yesterday, still around 750. And then Silver Tempest was also selling pretty well. Took a break yesterday, but this is also selling pretty well. So like a lot of the mid-tier boxes are selling pretty well. Also Fusion Strike does kind of recover back. For the other Sword and Shield boxes, Battle Style has been selling about every day last couple of days. Sold one yesterday. Sword and Shield base, no sales since October 1st. Rebel Clash, no since the 13th. Darkness Ablaze had, some had like 4 sales recently, but took a break yesterday. A lot of boxes took a break yesterday. And Vivid Voltage also took a break yesterday. But yeah, Fusion Strike is, back up $77. It really hasn't been like down like for that much. Even when it was down, it was mostly like people just didn't buy the 1 or 2 boxes that were listed. All right, so Scarlet Vibe booster boxes, Surging Sparks and Fleeting Flames down both about $3. They're about $271 now. Really sad. Only about $6 up from like its previous high. 5 sold yesterday, so demand isn't really that bad, but prices, they could go to like 277, but there's not really much like growth there. There's not a lot of supply at the lower quantity. I'm just gonna really look at this because I've always Surging Sparks has been like so undervalued. For Obsidian Flames, yeah, it's down about $3. 0 sold yesterday. You see most boxes sell like barely any boxes compared to Surging Sparks. And it's still pretty close to 240. Just seeing Hydroto lists a cheaper box over here. For Paldean Evolved, 0 boxes sold yesterday, and it was selling a little more before that. There's quite a bit of supply around 250 now, 450 now, I mean. And yeah, we're just waiting until a buyout happens. Usually there's a big buyout for Paldean Evolved. For Scarlet base, 1 box sold yesterday. I'm just waiting for this to hit like 250s, and I'm just waiting for a day to reach 260 where it kind of belongs. For Paradox Rift, 0 sold yesterday, 2 sold today. Still hovering around 280 pretty strongly. People probably aren't going to target Paradox and SV base for a while. Definitely they're going to be targeted like by like around when rotation ends in April, because then there'll be like, there'll be no reprints or whatever. But yeah, right now, just people go after like the more obvious plays. Like for me personally, I'll go after Prismatic. Like if I buy it now, it's a cheap price, and like I'm sure it'll survive a downturn. Because other things are just like, some things are just painful to hold, and they're not as attractive. That's just how it is. Temporal Forces, no sales. Like it hasn't really sold much since October 8th. Twilight Masquerade sold 1 yesterday, and it's just been hovering around 313, like 310, 315. That's kind of where most of the sellers are. And then Stellar Crown just still amazes me, still maintaining its price point. You see a $300 box sold the other day, and no box sold yesterday. It's still at $294. Stellar Crown's like doing really, really great price wise. That wraps things up for this video. I hope you walked away with a better understanding of the market. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more deep dives in the Pokemon market. Tell me what's the next big investment you're considering in the comments. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you all later.